Lainey Wilson, DIERKS Bentley, and more. We're on an exciting red carpet.
One of us is a TV host. One of us has a song called One of Us. I think you can figure out which one is which. Coming up, Matt Stell joins us right here on Nashville Insider.
Plus, Tanya Tucker and PATTI LABELLE join us as they're getting honored by CMT. And later, we take a little ride inside the song to find out how the Jason Aldean hit came to be.
Hey, it's Lainey Wilson, and you're watching Nashville Insider.
Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome to Nashville Insider. I'm Casey Mason, back with another dose of A-class country content. Now, you probably saw the Grammys air earlier this month, but in case you missed it, we're here to recap the country winners. The big winner of the night was none other than Chris Stapleton. He took home Grammys for Best Country Song and Best Country Solo Performance, both for his hit White Horse. Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves took home the award for Best Country Duo Performance, and Best Country Album went to Lainey Wilson and Bell Bottom Country. And guess what, everybody? Lainey Wilson, DIERKS Bentley, and several others joined Nashville Insider's Jeff Womack on the red carpet here in Nashville for Country's Grammy nominees.
So tell me about being nominated by your peers, and you got a lot of friends here, and a lot of them voted for you here to be recognized by your peers. Talk to me about that.
I mean, there's nothing like it. I respect these people, and I love these people, and I look up to them on and off the stage. Songwriters, people just in the industry. I feel the love. I feel like a genuine support that I don't know if every artist gets to feel, but I feel it, and I'm very appreciative.
I felt the joy of getting the nomination, and I was like, oh, I really don't care if they win. And I think as it gets closer, you start going, I wonder if we're going to win. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Right? Going, God, I wonder if we are, right? You just don't know. But it's a blessing, it's all a blessing. It's fun, and I'm doing what I love, man. If I'm not doing what I love, I'm going to quit.
Tell me about being nominated by your peers.
The trouble with that answer is there's no way to say it without it sounding cliche.
Sure.
Because it's all the things, right? It's like, we love this town. She's a California girl, I'm an Australian boy. We've loved music since we were born, looking at vinyl 45 records and her listening to Shania Twain and Lady A and Faith Hill, like Stevie Wonder. And so to be in a room both tonight and on the 4th of February with these people that you admire so much and look different and act different and think different than you, but yet you have this commonality in music, it's kind of outrageous,
Talk to me about this album that y'all are up for, some insider info from the studio that nobody else is going to know but you, that we can air.
Well, that we can air. Yeah, that's the hard part. No, but
I know.
We had a big old time recording this album, and it was the second one with this lineup of me and Mike joining the band about 3 years ago. Okay. And, it really felt like we hit our stride with this one. And I love, it feels like going back to the old school stuff that I heard when I was growing up.
I just love all the music that makes country music, and we all have our own kinds of country. Me is bluegrass is a big part of that wheel, that umbrella rather that it encapsulates, and so I just discovered a little bar called the Station Inn when I was 19 years old and started going down there listening to bluegrass music, and that band down there would sing Johnny Cash and George Jones songs as much as they'd sing Bill Monroe and Ralph and the Stanley Brothers songs. So to me, it's all kind of the same thing in its origins, and it just goes to different places from there.
You've done so much in a short amount of time, people forget that you were living in your camper with no heat, for heaven's sake.
I was, 2011. Rolled up in my little Flagstaff bumper pool camper trailer and lived in it for about 3 years. But you do what you got to do when you want to do this.
What advice would you give to aspiring musicians, songwriters that want to be here one day and they're trying to put something out into the world?
Be real. Be honest. This can be a fantasy with the right kind of dream. So but it can turn to a nightmare quick when you're not being honest with yourself. When you're not being real with yourself. and to know that it's bigger than you. There's so many people that need you. They need your art. They need your song. They need to hear what you have to say. And it could be the one thing that could turn somebody's life all the way around. So always remember that there's a responsibility with your gift.
Great stuff there. Thanks, Jeff. Well, the next artist on our show today doesn't have a Grammy yet, but he does have 2 #1s under his belt. Nashville Insider's Adam Wartsell got to hop on board with Matt Stell.
It has been a minute since I've done an interview on a tour bus, but Matt Stell has invited us to hop on board. Nice to see you, Matt.
Absolutely. This isn't even our normal tour bus. Our other tour bus broke down, and I'm on my literal, absolute last clothes that I own with me right now.
Oh, because they're all on the other bus.
They're all on the other bus. Yeah. We, like I was telling you earlier, we broke down and loaded up a couple Chrysler Town and Countries to get us to the next gig. But we back in business now.
Does it bring you back to the good old days?
It kind of does because, in a good way, we have space on here. But we also do different stuff. So somebody will be playing video games. Somebody will be, everybody will be on their phones. But when we're in the truck together, you're all right there, or in the van, you're all right there, you're talking. We generally have the same music playing. So there is something kind of special about it.
When you're on a bus, I've slept on tour buses, not as much as you have, but the rolling, the noise of it actually helps me sleep. Do you sleep well on a bus?
I don't, but a lot of people do. I'm a little bit of an exception. I don't fit in the bunks that go this way.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, so I have a bed in the back that goes this way, and if you can imagine what it's like sleeping in the front seat of a car just going down the road, it kind of rolls like this. But if you sleep in the back seat of a car long ways and they hit the brakes, you roll out of bed kind of. And that's the kind of situation back there. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. We're glad to be playing rock and roll. So.
Don't think that she does it 'cause she knows what she's doing. She'll burn you like the bourbon in the bottle she's shooting. She's a cowboy killer, that's a cold hard truth. You could try to love her, but she'll leave your heart breaking boots.
On a tour bus is a good place to break in some boots, and Breaking in Boots is your song. It's currently on radio. You got boots on as we speak. Tell us about it. It's very catchy.
Man, thanks very much. I wrote this song about several times that I've spent in bars, and man, it just kind of celebrating that up-tempo heartbreak thing that country music does so well. And if you've ever been to Nashville, Tennessee, you'll see a bunch of girls running around in their boots, and they're all hot and great. So that's what this song is. It's about me trying to say what's up to a girl in a bar. I couldn't tab out quick enough. I never saw her again, but the next day we wrote the song about that situation. So
it's almost like the Ballad of Nashville. It's like the story of Nashville.
Yeah, man. In a lot of ways it is, and also it's fun to play live. So.
And so is a song that you have out called "One of Us." Now you put this song out, and then you re-put it out with Chase Matthew. How did you meet Chase?
Man, Chase and I met just playing some shows together. I think our first time that we played. Well, I take that back. We first met each other during the pandemic. We were when things were just opening up a little bit. We were at the same little place. But then, man, we started playing some music together a couple years ago. And the first time we went and played this acoustic show, we got there and he and I sat down and wrote a song kind of backstage. And I knew right then, man, Chase is a really talented guy. Enjoyed being around him, and he reminded me of my friends that I grew up with. So when we had One of Us, I was like, man, I would love to have a feature on this, and I knew Chase would be perfect for it. So.
Go buy, stream, and download that now, and then I think it's about time that me and Matt break in something else. What do you think?
Yeah, we're going to break in box right there.
Matt, thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Adam. Well, ahead on Nashville Insider, it's Inside the Song, how Jason Aldean's hit Take a Little Ride came to be.
Coming up, the red carpet shines with grace and empowerment. I'll be chatting with incredible women from all walks of life. You don't want to miss it.
Hey everybody, it's Jennifer Vickery, and coming up next on Nashville Insider, we are with Shane Prophet. You talk about a good story in country music, his is awesome.
You're inside Nashville Insider. I'm Casey Mason. Now, it's hard to surprise our own Jennifer Vickery. I mean, she's been a correspondent on our show since day one, but Big Machine recording artist Shane Prophet did just that in the form of his music. Take a look.
We are at the Big Machine Distillery and Tavern in Nashville with the Shane Prophet. It's so great to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
You've been so crazy busy. This brand new song, I gotta confess, still picks up. I thought it was going to be about a pickup truck because it's country music, right? But no, not at all. This one is a tearjerker.
I'm gonna call him while he still picks up. Gonna ask him if he ever killed that buck we saw last fall on Hoover Mason Road. Did he?
As you know, I'm a songwriter, and I like to think I'm a songwriter before I'm an artist. And we sat down to write that song. My dad actually had a massive stroke. We were on a hunting trip in eastern Kentucky, and he had a stroke, and got him off the mountain finally, and it was like an hour to the hospital, and got him there. And you know, in that moment when you don't really know if you're going to see somebody again, I had 1,000 things going through my mind at one time, and I was like, man, I should have called him a little more. So I wrote that idea down, and luckily he's okay to this day.
One of the parts I love about your story, and I know a lot of people have heard it, but my goodness, a sushi restaurant, Chris Jansen, and a first date. All right, how do we sum that story up? Because it's a good one.
So I was trying to be slick and kill two birds with one stone, and I called this girl up. I was trying to make a date out of going to get guitar strings. And I called her up and asked her if she wanted to make that 45-minute ride with me, and she agreed to it. So we rode up to Guitar Center, and I ran in. I got my strings and come back out and asked her what she wanted to eat, since we were in Franklin anyway. And she said, you know, Shane, I really like sushi. And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, no, please, no.
This is a fried chicken boy right here, not a sushi boy.
And we go to walk in, and Chris Jansen holds the door for me when we went to walk in. So I ended up going up to him, introducing myself, telling him what a fan I was and that I wrote songs and everything. And before he could say anything, his wife spoke up and said, hey, I'm Kelly, I'm Chris's wife. I'm also his manager, and I'm also a music publisher. Anyway, she goes, hey, is that a receipt you're holding in your hand? I'll write my email down on it, and you can send me some songs. You have our word, we'll listen to them. Fast forward a little bit, I get out to my truck after we said our goodbyes and everything, and I sent some songs to that email while I was still in the parking lot. I sent some songs to that email, and at the bottom I said, if you ever need anything, give me a call, and I wrote my phone number down. Fast forward 2 weeks later, on a Wednesday morning, I'm at work. I was weed eating a ditch, and I felt my phone ringing in my pocket. I cut the weed eater off, and I looked at my phone, and the caller ID said Jansen. I was like, okay, all right. I answered it. I was like a little schoolgirl. He said, hey, what are you doing? I said, well, it's a Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock like most people. I'm at work. What are you doing, dude? And he goes, well, he said, I want you to go put your 2-week notice in. And he said, I have a tour coming up, and I want you to open for me, and I want you to have a publishing deal.
That was the first phone call, was publishing deal and open on a tour? Wow. I'm so happy for your success.
Thank you.
That's how it ought to be.
Up next, some tech news. Okay, not something I often report, but let's give it a shot. Bryan Adams has aligned with a new startup called Songbox. Songbox is a secure music sharing app that helps artists like Adams to share unreleased music without having to email or send files, which we've all seen leads to music leaks. The app is designed to help country artists here in Nashville feel protected. Of course, you probably know Bryan Adams from his hits like Summer of '69 and I Do It For You. Thanks for doing this for us, Bryan. Later in the show, icons Tanya Tucker and Patti LaBelle are honored as groundbreaking women in music. And after the break, the man behind Take a Little Ride. Go inside the song with Dylan Altman. That's next. Welcome back to Nashville Insider. Now it's time to take you inside the song. This week we go back to 2012 and meet Dylan Altman, one of the songwriters behind the Jason Aldean smash, Take a Little Ride.
That was written with two of my closest friends in the industry, Jim McCormick and Rodney Clausen. And that day, it was funny because, you know, I tell this story when I do shows. You know, I wanted to come in with a good idea, a good musical idea. And I was listening that morning when I was getting ready to, of all things, Pearl Jam. I was listening to Alive, which is, oh, I'm still alive. And I thought about that song, and I love that chord progression. It's a real rockin' progression. And I was like, well, how can we make that work for country music? So came up with that progression, came up with a melody for the chorus, which turned out being the riff of the song too, which was down, 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 or I'm just ready to ride this Chevy. And I brought that into them, and I mean, Rodney, who's just, you know, he's one of the best writers in this town I've ever written with, just a wonderful writer. And it's just very funny because Jim, who's a wonderful writer as well, he went to Georgetown. He was a poetry major, and I grew up in Jersey, so we were not, that song is not the vernacular we speak.
Well, I'm just ready to ride this Chevy down a little back road. Slide your pretty little cell phone over, get a little closer, turn up the radio.
But Rodney used to be a farmer, so he was able to write about turn rows and hay bales, and Rodney added his stank to it, and it was great because he. That's what's so great about this town, though. It's like the collaborative effort that, you know, that song could not have been written by me alone, or Rodney alone, or Jim alone, because all three of us brought our own flair to it that made it unique and made it sound like itself. And then because of Rodney's, at that point he'd had several songs with Jason Aldean, so it was a logical choice. So that was definitely something where when it was done, we immediately targeted him. And then we got it to them and they really loved it, but they had already cut most of their album. But what they did is they held on to that, and when the next time they came around for the album, they cut it, and it became their debut single on that album. So that felt like a hit song. It's like, you know, at that point in my career, I was really kind of swinging for the fences on stuff like that, and it just felt like a hit song. And in those guys' hands, Michael Knotts and Aldean and all the guys who make those records, it just sounded like something you'd hear on the radio. And it turned out that it was like a 3-week #1, so it was a very nice thing. And to share it with two of my closest friends was really special.
Hey guys, I'm Jacqueline Stapp, Nashville Insider. I'm here with a beautiful trio, Chapel Heart. Stay tuned.
We're back on Nashville Insider. I'm Casey Mason. This star-studded episode continues with the iconic Patti LaBelle, the legendary Tanya Tucker, and a few of their biggest country star fans. Jacqueline Stapp went to the red carpet for CMT Smashing Glass.
Tonight, there's so much grace and so much empowerment on this carpet tonight. What's it feel like to be in the same room? Tanya Tucker, Patti LaBelle.
I told him earlier, I said, I'm just excited to be in the presence of the greatness tonight. Like, both of them are so iconic, and to see what's happening tonight, I think we're all looking forward to it and happy to be a part of it.
I think tonight also is super special because I think we're in a unique situation because we get to see this from both angles. We were raised on Tanya Tucker, and we were also raised on Patti LaBelle, and you know, our aunts and our grandmother just love Patti, and so tonight to be able to sit in this seat, and we lost our grandmother last November, so to be able to sit here tonight just really is a super special moment, and we feel like she's here with us, and I know she is screaming like we are.
Well, these are pioneers in our community. These are pioneers in our, not only our genre, but multi-genre, you know, and I'm one of the only dudes on the bill, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm here to be singing one of Tanya's songs in honor of her, and supporting a real outlaw, man, Tanya Tucker.
Thinking that I'll just forget about you, but it's a little too late. It's a little too late.
I think that there's something to be said for all artists, no matter if you're a male, female, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. People like Tanya Tucker blazed a big trail for guys like me. They blazed a big trail for girls like that are out here on this carpet. And, you know, hey, for anybody who wants to do it their own way and not say sorry for it, she's the one to be looking at.
I'm here with the legendary icon, Miss Tanya Tucker.
My gosh, girlfriend. I get the name wrong. No.
18-year hiatus, and then you finally won a Grammy. How did that feel?
I mean, I was 14 the first time I was nominated, and it's been 14 nominations, so I finally won 2. 2 out of 4 ain't bad.
Right.
But to be up for Song of the Year for all genres, that was quite a deal for me, you know.
Tanya, the documentary is incredible, so heartfelt, profound. The return of Tanya Tucker, what was that experience like making that documentary with Brandi Carlile?
Well, you know what? When I first walked in the studio, I had 2 microphones on me at all times. And I kind of grew up with a microphone on. So I really didn't think about it much. But it's just kind of strange watching myself up there. Like,
You don't take yourself too serious.
no, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody spent an hour or 2 hours in a movie theater watching me in my life. Weird. But
You're a trailblazer. You have impacted so many people. What would you say to a young female wanting to get into the music industry?
Oh, I say if you're young, real young, like, listen to your parents. That's the very first thing. And if you're not, if you're older and you're away from your parents, listen to yourself. And you know what's right and wrong, and you can make decisions that way.
What does it feel like to be called the godmother of soul? You're a trailblazer.
It makes me feel great. I'm 79 and I feel 40. And for people to call me that's an honor. That's an honor. And all my young girlfriends, they call me, like Beyonce, Mariah Carey, my goddaughter. We talked this morning and they all asked me about things that they're going through now because I've been where they are. And I've burned T-shirts, and I'm so honored when they call me for info. Yes.
You are so blessed too, and have touched the lives of so many people, and we love you here in Nashville.
Great stuff, as always. Thanks, Jacqueline. Well, we'd like to switch gears and end our show by paying tribute to Toby Keith. After a battle with stomach cancer, Keith passed away earlier this month. The country legend racked up 20 #1 hits and was nominated for every award in the book. And when he wasn't singing, Keith was working with his charity, the Toby Keith Foundation, to build housing for pediatric cancer patients. His lyrics may be, "I ain't as good as I once was," but Toby Keith used fame to do more good than most. So we leave you today with one of his biggest hits. We'll miss you, Toby.
I love this bar. It's my kind of place. Just walking through the front door puts a big smile on my face. It ain't too far. Come as you are. Bar. I've seen short skirts, we've got high techs, blue-collared boys and rednecks, and we got lovers, lots of